Imagine this. You're holding your phone, setting an intention, and letting an app guide you into the unknown. But what happens when the unknown feels more than just random?
Welcome to the world of Randonautica, a realm where mystery, coincidence, and the unexplained converge. Today, we're going to dive deep into the app that has left users questioning reality itself.
Zumundous.
Usually I put up a video over it, but I might just leave us dancing to our theme song.
Nice.
Welcome to Zumundous Podcast, episode 9. I'm Doolin.
And I'm Keith.
Today we're going to dive into the world of the Randonautica app.
Yeah, this thing's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. So first question right off the board, like, what is the Randonautica app? Because even though this thing, I guess, was a viral sensation for a while, I hadn't heard about this until our friend Chris Hall, one of our listeners and friends over there in the UK, talked to me about this one and said, you guys have got to do an episode on Randonautica. So I said, okay.
I think it's really popular.
It's pretty popular. So, what is it? In theory, simply put, it's a geolocation app. So in essence, it's an app that encourages you to go out and explore the outside world. So a lot of like geocaching, like that was really popular in years past. That got really popular in the 2010s and things. This is kind of like that, but the difference is this allegedly uses like some of the power of quantum mechanics to let your mind guide you to a place where your thoughts can manifest reality. So, and if that sounds wild, it is.
It is wild.
But there's some wild stories that comes with it.
Oh, absolutely.
So, in preparing for this, I did a little bit of research, and I went to the Randonautica website, and I'm going to read you here what it says from the Randonautica website. It says, Randonautica is a tool created to enhance the human experience with novelty by mindfully exploring the world, the interconnectivity of the universe, and to test the hypothesis that the human consciousness can influence a distribution of random numbers through the mind-matter interaction, otherwise known as MMI. Developed by the global movement, the Randonauts, based on the theories stemming from the Fatum Project, the Randonautica app was created to encourage people to venture outside their day-to-day routine by using a quantum random number generator to derive a truly random coordinate to journey to. The phenomenon has taken the world by storm, and there are millions of Randonauts exploring their surroundings in nearly every country. So that's the description that the Randonautica website gives. And I did a little bit more research on this, and they have like a whole thing on how it works, how the numbers are generated and everything. Mm-hmm. And I read it. And I'll tell you this, man, it comes across as quantum mechanic word salad. Like, I'm not even going to try to read it. Like, okay, I read it, and I'm like, I don't understand a word of this. And I imagine, like, the average layperson probably doesn't. You know?
Okay.
It's almost like it was intentionally confusing.
It may be, honestly. I'm not familiar with that. I actually didn't go to the website because after I heard all the stories, I was like, I'm not messing with this. It's like a Ouija board, you know? Not getting into all that. But this app was launched in February 22 of 2020 during the
what was happening
the shutdown
there?
Or whatever you want to call it.
The quarantine, if you will.
Founded by Auburn Salcedo and Josh Langfelder. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it randomly generates coordinates and gets people to explore their local areas. Obviously, without trespassing and things like that. It's against their user.
Yeah, they give you some safety guidelines. One, they say, don't trespass, don't go into people's yards, don't go into like abandoned buildings or anything like that.
Danger.
And most importantly, they say don't do it at night.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, just for safety reasons. You don't want to be walking around in random places at night, you know?
True, yeah.
So that being said, this thing has really gained a lot of traction over the years with user stories and viral encounters.
This is the best part.
Yeah, and a lot of people have described very bizarre coincidences using the Randonautica app. So the way it works is you're just supposed to take out the app and focus on what it is you want to find. And people have focused on everything from money to something different, something
I
strange.
never thought about that.
Yeah, dog, just whatever it is, you're supposed to be able to manifest it.
I like lamp.
Yeah, I love lamp too. Are you just reading the cue cards? No. But there's some interesting things, and in some of my research, I found some of these things on from Reddit, on the Randonautica Reddit forum. So here's this first one. It was my first time randonauting. I wasn't taking it too seriously, so I just manifested seeing something red, and the coordinates led me here.
As one does.
So yeah, I can't really explain this one. Insane experience. Now, it's not really that insane, obviously. So if you look at the picture, and I'll put it up on YouTube for everybody to see right now, what we see here is it's a red couch, and it's sitting in the middle of a field. Looks like it's by some train tracks. And, it is a strange thing to see in the middle of a field by a train. So just some train tracks and stuff, but it happened to be a red couch. Now, I could put in coordinates and say something red and then go somewhere and then just look around until I see something red. Like I can probably count like 15 different red things in this room right now that we're sitting in.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was a couch is kind of strange. I'll chalk that one up to coincidence for sure. Here's another one. I went randonauting and set my intent as dog. I found a stray dog and took him home. And there on the screen, you can see he's got a dog in his back seat. I guess that's his new friend that he took home for thinking of dog.
Hopefully that wasn't somebody's dog.
Yeah, I hope it wasn't somebody's dog. Here's another one. I asked for anything to do with my best friend who died by suicide 2 years ago, and I saw a raven. It dropped this feather. She had said that if she were to have a spirit animal, it would be a raven.
Okay.
So, cool
That's
coincidence.
A little bit more coincidental.
A little bit more coincidental. Here's another one. My intent was alien. What do these symbols mean? So you can see there, he found something on like a whiteboard that somebody had painted. Like there's a picture of it, like an elk
like
on it. It's like an elk. The antlers are kind of cut off there. But also these very strange alien looking symbols on it.
Like geometric, wild art shapes.
Yeah. So it's up there on the screen.
Cool.
But here's another one. My intention was happiness, and it brought me to this grave. Her name was Joy. Strange.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably a little bit more random than...
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's part of the thing that they say the app is like an attractor of strange things. It's definitely...
Well, I think maybe it just kind of opens your mind up because you're like consciously and or subconsciously, you're looking for these things in a place where you go, in a place where you wouldn't like usually like take a moment and explore your surroundings, right?
And normally you're not looking for these things, right?
Yeah.
You're just grinding, you're busy with your
walking
day,
through, even if you're like
getting your cup of coffee,
even if you're
doing.
out on a hike through the woods or something like that, like maybe you're appreciating nature and things like that, but you're not looking for anything specific. Whereas these people, you're looking for a very specific thing.
True.
But this has yielded also some kind of dark stories that have turned up on the internet.
Oh yeah,
and you I think you have one about a couple of guys in Germany.
I want to talk about the super famous one, but first there's this one in Germany. These two guys, they pulled like a few sets of coordinates. I'm gonna kind of get through this fast. And they ended up going to like this wooded area, which has like a little trail through a little road. And this is actually on the internet. If you look up this app, this story will probably come up along with the one with the girl going to the creek bed and the whole 9 yards. But anyway, these guys go there and they find some like women's clothing, like 6 or 7 sets of like, bras or something. And they find a note and it's like on a stick.
A note on a stick.
It's got a hole punched in it, but it's folded up. So it's got like 4 holes in it. And it said something like, put your cell phone number in here, or I can give you an address, or like something really kind of creepy. They translated it right there on camera. The guy's reading it.
This is some Friday the 13th sounding shit to me.
Yeah, this is weird. Yeah, it already looks... They found a couple other things that were a little disturbing. The guy, I don't know why you would do this. And, I agree with the people commenting on it. He puts a cell phone number on there, and then a couple of days later, sure enough, they go back the next day and that note's gone, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a random area. It's not like somebody's house or anything like that. So it's like, okay, there wasn't like an encampment or anything if somebody's living out there, but people have found that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
The note was gone. And then a couple days later, he gets a text message that says hello or hollow, however they say it over there. And he's like, hey, who is this? And then they send him his address. Like they looked up his address from his cell phone, which I guess
you could do that or whatever.
But it's still creepy. That means like somebody's stalking you. He said he instantly blocked the number.
Yeah.
Which that was weird considering what else they found at that site. That it was like I don't know, somebody's looking for people or something.
Well, yeah,
Pretty
that's,
creepy.
I mean, that's really creepy. And this is another really creepy story. Now, this is like in the early days of TikTok, because I think TikTok
This
came
is
around
a huge one. Yeah.
came out around 2020. So when Randonautica went online, also it was the rise of TikTok. And and I gotta say this, like this isn't something that you could fake. But I mean, there's people, like I've seen people on TikTok. I use TikTok. I use TikTok, and I've seen people do crazy shit to get engagement on the algorithm.
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Everything from
Gotta get those likes.
Yeah, you got to get those likes and engagement, man.
And you should like and subscribe while we're at it.
Yeah, there you go. Like and subscribe, please. A teen named Makina on TikTok shared a video of themselves immediately following their Randonautica quest. In the video, Makina cries and explains why she will never go randonauting again. The intention she entered into the app was death. Like, first of all, why?
Okay. Yeah.
And then that's
Yeah. When I saw the videos on this, I didn't see what their intention was.
why would you want to go looking for death?
I don't know.
Some people are just tempting the fates, I think.
Yeah. It's like playing Bloody Mary or something, with this.
But that is very nearly what she found. Makina assumed the app sent her to a place where there was a dead body laying on the ground bleeding. Makina assumed that they were indeed dead. Based on her follow-ups and investigation from local news and media, it appears that Makina did indeed stumble across a body, but it was only near to death. The 23-year-old victim of a recent shooting was luckily discovered in time and brought to a nearby hospital.
Oh, so this wasn't the one I was thinking of.
No. I think there was another one, and I don't have the specifics of it. But if I want to, do you have the where they found the suitcase story?
The
right?
Suitcase story.
Tell me about that one.
Well, a bunch of TikTokers, right? And this was a group of them, and they videotaped it from several angles. Went randonauting, nodding. They went randonauting. And they found a suitcase that was, on the rocky. There was like a dock and or like a pier type situation. There was the rocks down there where the water was washing up, and they start poking at it. They're like, "Oh, what's in the suitcase? That's what we found!" Yeah. And then they opened it up, and it smelled bad, obviously, and And they opened up. There's a big plastic bag in there, and it actually ended up. They called police because they didn't go into it, but they assumed what they found was bad, right?
Right.
And it took the Seattle police like 3 hours or something to get there, which is kind of ridiculous. Everybody mentions that in the story. And then it ended up being a couple that was dismembered by their landlord.
What did you say there? Did they say, what was their intention? Do you remember?
I don't know what their intention was, but these TikTokers all did it, and they basically found two bodies in a suitcase.
Oh, jeez.
And then they arrested the landlord. He's obviously still in jail, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
For murder after that, which was kind of crazy. That's a big story in Seattle, and that's really one of the things that really set this app off. People were like, "Whoa!" Pretty crazy.
Exactly.
And they obviously didn't stage it, because there's multiple videos. Some people still claim they did or whatever, but you can't really stage that.
No. That one definitely wasn't staged. I don't think. Unless,
because they even sent divers in because the water came up over the suitcase and stuff to get it. Yeah, it was kind of nuts.
That is wild, dude. So I mean, through that, like you said, that's where randonauting kind of blew up. And you can go online, you can find tons and tons of people like talking about their experiences and things
most of
like
them
that.
are pretty benign. Right?
Yeah, pretty benign.
There's a couple scary stories people have clearly intentionally done, to like make it look like they're finding all this weird stuff, but they've been, proven false for whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, man, people will do anything for likes and clicks, attention, things like that. So, a lot of times they'll I was on TikTok one time and I found this video of this girl. She's like, I'm hiking in the woods right now and I'm seeing this strange statue, and she pulls out from behind a rock. There's this like statue that looked like it was like just a little ceramic statue of like a man.
Okay.
But it had been like spray painted black and like with red lettering had written cursed on it and everything. She's like, should I leave it here, guys? And I had tons of videos of people people like,
pick it up.
No, pick it up, leave it there. Don't mess with it. You know what I mean?
Funny.
And I actually made a video responding to it. I was like, you guys notice that like that video is like, or that statue has been freshly painted. Doesn't look like it's been laying there for any amount of time at all.
Right.
Like she literally just filmed herself finding this video, and she actually did come back and no, I swear I found. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
That's really funny. I didn't know you could respond with a video. That's cool.
Yeah, that's how TikTok works.
But with that too, one of the ones, there was like they kept finding all these papers down by a creek bed.
Yeah.
And they were all brand new. You know, they weren't weathered. A couple of them were at first, and then it's just like, we're too lazy. They found like a cardboard Ouija board that hadn't been rained on or anything. It's like, oh, this is ancient. And it's like, no, it's not really
you
ancient.
just bought that from Walmart, bro.
Yeah, or well, it was like handmade, you know, or whatever. And then they played like a scary kid voice. And they're like, oh, and people were even saying like, oh no, it's just somebody messing with you out there. But it's like they obviously did it themselves, and it was from another website that somebody like figured out. The voice was like used in a scary story.
It reminds me of like one of those paranormal investigation shows where they're just always like, what was that? What was that? What was that? Exactly. Just trying to like drum it up for entertainment value and
you
stuff.
Just keep bringing the statue and setting it up.
Yeah.
I found it here too, man. Oh, this is crazy. Yeah.
But on that note, I do have a little story to tell.
Send it.
I went randonauting 2 days ago.
Really?
I did, because I wanted to have an and honestly, I was very skeptical on this, and I'm still very.
I purposely didn't go to the website or the app because I didn't want to. I was like, this is weird.
I downloaded the app onto my phone.
Okay.
And
well, you're a wild man.
And honestly, what I got back didn't really like. I was expecting to find absolutely nothing.
Okay, yeah.
I was thinking that this was just going to lead me to some place, and I was just going to look around and be like, well, this is bullshit, you know? But that's not what happened.
What?
It's kind of wild. So here's what it is. And for those of you who don't know, like I live here in my hometown. I know a lot of people.
Yeah,
as do you. You know, we both grew up
small
here.
town. Yeah.
And so I was in a location over on a certain side of town, and I was leaving work, and I was like, I got a little bit of time to kill. I'll do this now. So I bust out the app. I set it to a 2-mile radius, because you can set the radius on it, and I set my intention to friend. Okay. I was right. So I thought, and what I was thinking was like, it'll lead me to a place like a store or something. I'll walk in, and if I see somebody that like I'm friendly with, or somebody I know, that'll be enough to make me go, oh,
or something that reminds you of somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So here's what happened. They dropped a pin on this spot that was about 1.5 miles away.
Okay.
In a
making you work for it.
Yeah. Well, I drove there. I'm like, I'm not walking over there. So I drove there, and it was in somebody's yard. I didn't go into the yard, obviously, but it led me to this development, like a neighborhood. It led me to a neighborhood, and I stopped right in front of the house where it dropped the pin, and I was looking around. And I was like, well, I don't fucking see anybody I know here. But then I'm looking at the house that I stopped in front of. I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, why does this house look familiar to me? And I looked at it, and then it suddenly dawned on me. I'll put a picture of the house up on YouTube right now so you can see it. And then I remembered, like, this was a house that a friend of mine in high school used to live in. And not only like had I been to that house several times, but like I did a lot of theater as a kid, and this was where one of my theater friends lived, and we went in there like for after parties. We went in there to watch like Saturday Night Live and Whose Line Is It Anyways? Classic, because we were all theater kids and stuff like that. So it took me to a place where I had a lot of memories with friends. So and it's not enough to make me a believer, because you got to think like I grew up here. I can go to several places in town where I have memories with friends. You know what I mean? But it was enough to make me say, interesting.
That's cool. Positive experience.
Yeah. So it wasn't quite what I expected. Maybe it was a little bit more than what I expected. I was just kind of like, maybe I'll run into somebody
just kind of trying it out.
Yeah. So
maybe I'll have to go on the next adventure with you.
Yeah.
We'll report back.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a follow up to this.
Yeah.
So I talked to my girlfriend about it, and she said, "Oh, I'm not convinced. I'll have to do it with you." And I said, "Okay, right. we'll give it a shot." So cool. Maybe we'll do a follow up on this if I ever try randonauting again.
Yeah, that can be neat.
Yeah. So. But yeah, that's the takeaway from Randonautica. And what do you guys think, man? Send us an email at zumundo@outlook.com, and we'll be happy to talk about it on the air.
Yeah.
So what's your takeaway from Randonautica?
I think it's an interesting way to get people to engage in the real world vice, sitting around their house all the time, especially in a time when everybody was pretty secluded.
Yeah, exactly.
So it makes sense that it would have.
We were dying to go outside.
Done well during that time period. I think it's neat. It's an interesting concept. I don't know if I believe in like the law of attraction necessarily and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, we can affect things outside of our bodies. So who knows, man?
I mean, the popularity, it's grown. And so there's been a lot of opinions and critiques surrounding this. Some users claim that it's provided them with life-altering adventures.
Yeah,
others are a little bit more skeptical, just saying that it's intentionally leading these people into potentially dangerous situations.
That's the scary part about it. Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, like, and I would never do anything where, like, I would look at that like, okay, I'm going to go into that creepy old condemned building. Like, no, I'm not doing that shit.
Gave me the entrance to a cave.
Yeah, exactly. But skeptics argue that these experiences are fueled by confirmation bias.
That could be. Yep.
I guess you could say, like, if I am, thinking of something and I go out in the world and I'm thinking of it, then obviously I'm going to see something that I can tie to that intention.
You're going to make the dots connect.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's some really cool coincidences, but I think if you get they said there's millions of people that use this app or whatever. So I think out of all of those, I would say most of these people probably just show up and see nothing at all. It's only the people with noteworthy experiences talk about it, or people that are just trying to get likes and views, trying to make shit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, the app's users did respond with safety guidelines, but people will often go outside of that, which is where you have a lot of these strange coincidences or these things happening, or even some of these dangerous situations. But, a lot of people have said it's been a positive experience for them. So, I don't know, man. What do you think? Feasible, debunked, or more information needed?
I think more information needed. I think obviously if it's really a random number generator, then there's nothing to bunk or debunk, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
I mean, the app itself has gotten some controversy, but the guys say they don't collect data and stuff like that. So I don't know, yeah.
Well, Randonautica has opened doors to mystery and a world that blurs the line between random chance and destiny. Is it merely an adventure app, or does it touch on deeper mysteries that we don't fully understand? One thing is for certain, it has sparked curiosity and a sense of wonder in an age where such feelings are rare. Thanks for joining us on this exploration, guys. Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and remember, sometimes the journey is stranger than the destination. For Zumundous, I'm Doolin.
And I'm Keith.
And we'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one. All right, I'm going to set my intention to pizza.
I wonder if three people can have different intentions and see all things.
Ooh.
Like pizza, beer.
And money.
And money.
I like chicks and
money.
money.
You like money and Starbucks?
Dude, you like money? You're freaking me out. We should hang out.